All right, well, first of all, the name of the company is Midwest Factoring Group. We are factors. What we do is we purchase accounts receivable from companies that need to have a better cash flow than they do now. If they're waiting for the people to pay their bills and they've got to pay their own bills plus their own employment, they're the people that work for them, they get pressed and normally would go to the bank to get money to do this. But for various reasons, such newness of the company or such as the banks aren't exactly lending money at this time, factoring has begun to play a much bigger role. And what really happens is you do business, you send invoices out for what you've done, either performing a service or selling a product. And now you need to get the cash for that. What we do is advance you between 75 and 90% of your invoice. The percentage differences is varied according to the type of business it is and the payment history. Well, the basic information is who are you, where are you, how long have you been in business, etc. However, the fact is that, yes, the customer is important. We need to know about them. We need to know their history. We need to know that they don't have any liens on themselves. And these are the people requesting us to factor their invoices. But the primary information is who is your customer? How big are they? What is their credit history? Things like that. Are they a good risk? If they have a good credit rating, it doesn't make a lot of difference what your particular situation is. Big difference. If you get a loan from the bank, it goes on against your company as a payable, and you owe the money. When you factor, the ownership of the money never really leaves your company, and therefore it does not affect that particular part of your statement. It's your money, you're going to get it. We become a minor expense in the situation, but you never have to show it as something you owe. So the first go-around does take about a week. After that, it's basically a 24-hour turnaround. We get the invoice, you get your money in about 24 hours. And it's wired into your checking account. So it moves very quickly and keeps you going. There's no real contract or requirement that you do everything with us. As far as factoring goes, yes, we are the factor. But if you choose not to factor an invoice, what you do is you send us that invoice, but you will have a form to fill out that tells that you're not factoring that particular invoice. You may send us 5 or 6, and 2 of them are non-factored. Well, we log that in, and when those are paid, we just forward the money to you. There is no specific cost for everyone that sends an invoice. It is different based on the various situations, and that has to be explained when we talk to you about your invoices. Just explain that you're using a factor, but the factor will contact them. And when we do, we talk to accounts payable. Normally, we set up the whole process with them, explain what's going on and where they're sending the money, et cetera, for their specific invoices. I think it would be better if you started with the new ones, but it's according to, like, if you mailed it out a month ago, it's going to be hard for us to structure that into the factoring picture. It can be done, but normally your customer should be paying you within 45 days. If he's a 60-day customer, yeah, go ahead and factor it. It's got another 30 days to roll. If they do, then you as the customer are stuck with whatever their pay terms are because you can't force them to do it. Not really, no. Past due is that's bill collecting, and that's a whole nother ball game, and we're not in it. Medical billing has become a big thing as long as it's third party, meaning insurance companies, Medicare, Medicaid, state fundings of any kind, passport, etc. They will not do Mr. and Mrs. John Smith. That just can't be done. Factoring is strictly a business to business situation, not business to your retail customer. We don't factor. No one does. No one factors. That is where you go to the, they're like credit companies where you use their paper and you sell the paper to them, basically, where people advertise 90 days, same as cash, stuff like that. That's a whole different ballgame and not in our bailiwick. You just have to talk to them. You have to ask them what their rules are. You have to ask them what their basic cost structure is. The ones I really don't like to have around or deal around are the ones who charge a huge front fee because they're usually not on the up and up. And you should not have to pay a front fee. If there is a fee, like some of them do charge setups where they go through and they charge for the due diligence and setting up the account and getting it ready to go and so on. It's a couple $100. Usually comes out of the first go around with the actual factoring of the invoices.